Hi, everybody. Max Lucado here. I'm hoping that as the days go on, we're going to become more and more proficient at building our lives on the promises of God. Maybe you've heard me say there's over 7,000 promises that God has made to you and me as recorded in the scripture. And learning to build our lives on these promises is really what it means to be a follower of God. You got problems today. You've got perplexing issues today. You've got situations that are difficult to resolve and maybe some wounds that are slow in healing. Could I encourage you to find a promise and build your day upon it? Promises like Romans 8:28. All things work together for the good of those who love him and are called according to his purpose. What if you build your life on a promise like that? Promises that remind us that God hears the prayers of those who cry out to him. Today, even now, my friend, build today, build this hour, build this moment on a promise from God. Next week's a big week. It's when the book Unshakable Hope releases. Unshakable Hope ponders about 13 or maybe 14 of these great and precious promises. And I'm excited. I'm praying that it helps the church worldwide just take seriously the fact that our God is a promise maker and our God is a promise keeper. The question is not, will God make promises or keep promises, but will we build our lives on those promises? Unshakable Hope is an invitation to a sampling to explore the great and precious promises of God. You know, next month I celebrate 40 years of ministry. I know you look at me and say, how could that be? You don't look 20 years old. But it was 40 years ago next month that I filled up my little Chevette and left Abilene, Texas, and drove to St. Louis, Missouri, and took on my first role at on a church staff. 40 years. And in these 40 years, I think the one thing I have turned to over and over again is a promise from God. Whenever I'm in trouble, whenever I'm helping somebody who's facing a problem, I have found that the promises of God are go-to places for believers. And so that's the goal of this whole idea. And that is to encourage people to build their lives on promises of God. Now, since the Bible is the curator of all of these great and precious promises, does it not make sense that we would release this book at the wonderful Museum of the Bible in Washington, D.C.? Yes, next Monday night, August the 6th, we're having a special event at the Museum of the Bible. I'm so grateful for the Museum of the Bible, this organization that is committed to preserving the unique history and great and precious promise of Scripture. If you've never been to the Museum of the Bible, put it on your bucket list. Put it on your bucket list right there in the midst of so many museums that commemorate the work of societies and governments is this wonderful Museum of the Bible that commemorates the work of God. My hat is off to these who had such a vision to create the Museum of the Bible. And I'm so honored to tell you that I'll be there next Monday night. Maybe you live within driving distance, and maybe you're ambitious and you could jump on a plane and come and join us. We'd love for you to. Here are the details. The event begins with a reception at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time. And then at 7 p.m., I'll be speaking with the president of the museum and then sharing a message from Unshakable Hope. And then after that, we'll hang around and make sure we have a chance to say hello to everybody. If you're able to be there in person, I'd love to meet you. But if you cannot be there in person, guess what? We'll be streaming the event live here on Facebook. Be sure to log in at 7 p.m. Eastern Time to join us virtually. Again, log in at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, and we'll have a great conversation about the promises of God. And you'll be united with believers from all over the world by virtue of Facebook Live. Details can be found at museumofthebible.org. Museum of the Bible, this with no spaces, museumofthebible.org. I hope you can be there. Again, Monday, August the 6th. Monday, August the 6th. If you can be there in person, the reception begins at 6:30. The event begins around 7 p.m. And if you'd like to join online, just log in at 7 p.m. Eastern Time to join us virtually. Museumofthebible.org is where you can get more information. Hey, God bless you. Have a great day, and I'll talk to you soon.